Hello everyone, welcome to another video of Casper WPF. In the previous video we talked about how to create the rounded corners into the WPF application, and in this video we're going to go further and implement minimize and close functionalities which is similar to these yellow and red dots on the top right corner. Since we already get rid of the title bar, so the minimize and maximize and close functionalities will also be gone when you are going in this approach. So we have to implement those in our own way. So you can have dash and X marks like existing default applications, or you can have in this way to show up a little bit more creative in your user application. So let's get started. Here I have already opened the previous solution that we discussed in the previous video, and we have the grid as a children for the border. So what we are going to do is we are going to set a row definitions for the grid so that a title bar comes in some specific space from the top, and maybe we have content on the below, and maybe we can have one more status bar at the bottom, so that gives us an option of 3 rows, and depending upon your requirements you can have a number of columns. Here as far as the simple application goes, we don't have to create a explicitly specify the column definitions, so we'll go with row definitions. And I'm going to create 3 row definitions, and initially base them of height of star. I'm going to copy paste this thrice. So as soon as I paste this, you can see the 3 rows coming equally separated in the window. So, but this is not what we want, right? So we will be having a very lesser space for the title bar, something like this, and you have a total empty space for the contents that's going to come over here, and we have the status bar at the below. So maybe we can have the same space of the title bar and the status bar, and we'll increase the row definition of the content alone to be around 6 or maybe 7. Alright, so here the next thing is we are going to create those circle dots, or in this WPF controls we call it as ellipse with equal radius. So there are 2 things we can do. Maybe we can have a stack panel with horizontal orientation, and alignment we can keep it into right for the first row, or even you can go ahead directly with creating ellipse in a more simple manner. I'm going to give fill as red and row 0, so because it's a 0 based index, 0, 1 and 2, and height around 15, width around the same, so that it makes a perfect circle, and keeping the horizontal alignment as right and vertical alignment as top. So that means we are placing it in the first row, and horizontal alignment to the right and vertical alignment to the top, so that it attached to the top and from the right side. I'm going to close it. As soon as I close it, you can see the ellipse has come attaching to the top right side, and maybe we can give a margin of around 10 from right, 10 from top, so it comes something like this. And I'm going to copy paste the same for minimize, and instead of red we'll go with yellow. And as soon as you do that, the yellow comes into the top and the red is still lying in the back end. So the way the XAML recognizes the controls is like a layer functionality. So whichever comes first, it goes in the back, and whichever comes in the last, it goes into the front. That you can even see it in the document outline available in the view. So let's see where it is. Yeah, it's here, document outline. So when you start that, it can see two ellipses. One is red and one is yellow. So whichever comes at the bottom, it comes at the top. So let's go ahead and give this margin from right. We'll give around 30 so that it gives some little bit space. And then we're going to add an event of mouse left button down. Let's say close app for the red dot. So once you do that, you will be moved to the C# application or the C# file. And we'll add the try catch message. The exception, and just call close function. So similarly, go for hello dot and say minimize app and the same left button down, and you have the try catch. It's always best to keep the error handling proper, so that rather than you get a forced close, and sometimes you get what error comes in a message box, or you can handle it in a different manner. So what you're going to do is you can search for minimize, but there's no minimize function similar to the close that we found. This is the same function that we wrote here. So what you have to do is, this is handled using Windows state. So use this dot Windows state, and you keep it as minimized. And you save it, and let's start it. So the build has been started. So the build has been successful, and the application came like this. So when you press on the yellow ellipse, it goes to minimized state, and when you press on the red, it closes the app. But user doesn't see any indication whether he is going to do any action when he clicks on the buttons or the ellipse, because if you see over here it highlights and it says minimize, it says restore down, it says close. So what we can do is we will set like tooltip under appearance, under common you have a tooltip. Let's say for yellow you have minimize, for red you have close, and let's start again. So you got the tooltip like minimize as close, pretty cool. So the next thing what we are going to do is we'll add like we'll change the mouse cursor to something different so that user so he's clicking on something. So what we'll do, there are different type of cursors available, default cursors. What we can do is we'll take the hand option, so it becomes like a hand when he's clicking on the red, or even L for minimize. So let's start it. So you got that cursor change, and you got the tooltip as well. So the last thing you can do is you can add a mouse over trigger for this, and maybe give a different shade, or change it into a lighter color of this yellow and red, so that it hovers around the buttons saying that it's been actively going to be selected in the window, something like this. So you have a different shade on the minimize and a different shade on the restore as well as close as soon as you move the cursor over them. So that's it for today. Thanks for watching. Subscribe for more.